Hey, okay, you didn't arrive here by coincidence. Something subtle may be shifting around you, and part of you has already noticed it even if you haven't put words to it yet. There's a quiet tension in the air, a sense that something meaningful is unfolding beneath the surface of your everyday life. Not loudly, not dramatically, but in a way that feels personal, intimate, almost private. It's possible you've been feeling a mix of anticipation and uncertainty at the same time, like standing on the edge of a realization without fully stepping into it. You may notice moments where your thoughts drift toward a certain connection, a choice you haven't made yet, or a version of your life that feels closer than it used to. Nothing flashy, just a persistent feeling that something matters more now than it did before. This energy doesn't come from nowhere. It often shows up when unspoken feelings are active, either your own or someone else's toward you. You might sense it in the pauses between conversations, in the way someone looks at you and then looks away, or in how certain memories resurface unexpectedly. There's an emotional current here that hasn't been fully expressed yet. You may have felt this especially in matters of love, energy, and deep emotional connection. Perhaps there's someone whose presence feels unfinished, even if circumstances have created distance. Or maybe it's not about a specific person, but about your relationship with yourself, your worth, your boundaries, your readiness to receive something more aligned. Either way, there's a feeling of something wanting to come into the open. What's interesting is that this doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel forced. If anything, it feels like a slow gathering of clarity. Like the universe, or simply your own inner awareness, is giving you time to notice what you truly feel before anything else happens. You may find yourself reflecting more than usual, questioning patterns, or replaying moments that suddenly seem more meaningful. Hidden feelings tend to surface this way, not through dramatic confessions at first, but through energy, through the sense that someone is holding back words, or that you are. You might notice an urge to have an in-person conversation that hasn't happened yet, or you may feel emotionally prepared for honesty in a way you weren't before. If this resonates, type yes in the comments, just as a quiet acknowledgement to yourself. You may have already sensed that something about your emotional landscape has shifted. Perhaps you're less willing to accept confusion, less interested in half answers or mixed signals. This is often where clarity and closure begin, not when someone else speaks, but when you decide you're ready to understand the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. There's a strong theme here around boundaries, not walls, but clarity. You may be realizing that protecting your energy doesn't mean closing your heart, it means honoring it. You might feel less inclined to chase explanations and more inclined to observe actions. That's not withdrawal, that's self-respect settling in. And here's something important. Whatever this win represents in your life, it doesn't seem to be about proving anything to anyone else. It feels more internal than external. It could be a moment where you choose yourself in a way you hadn't before, or where you stop negotiating your worth just to keep peace. That kind of shift can feel subtle, but its impact is lasting. Manifestation in this context isn't about forcing outcomes, it's about alignment. When your actions, thoughts, and emotional needs start pointing in the same direction, things tend to move more smoothly. You may notice fewer inner conflicts, fewer moments of self-doubt, more ease in saying no or yes without guilt. You could be noticing that you're no longer willing to stay in situations that drain you emotionally. That's not impatience, that's growth. And growth often brings a quiet confidence with it. Not the kind that announces itself, but the kind that changes how you show up. There may also be an emotional confession lingering in the background. Not necessarily spoken yet, but felt. Someone may be wrestling with their own fears or timing. Or you may be the one holding back, waiting until you feel fully grounded in what you want to say. Either way, the energy suggests honesty wants space to breathe. If you feel ready for truth, your own or someone else's comment, clarity, let it be a reminder that you don't need to rush understanding. You just need to stay present. You might notice that your intuition feels sharper lately. Not louder, just clearer. It may guide you away from distractions and toward what actually matters. You could feel less reactive, more observant. That's often a sign of spiritual alignment, not something mystical, but something deeply human. When you're aligned, you listen differently, you respond differently. This alignment may also affect how you view a future together, whether that's with a partner, a version of yourself, or a path you've been considering. Instead of imagining what could be, you may be asking what feels right. That shift alone changes everything. It's possible that part of this process involves letting go of an old narrative, a belief that you had to struggle to earn love, or that clarity only comes after chaos. You might be realizing that peace can be a sign of progress, not stagnation. There's no pressure here to act immediately. In fact, the energy feels supportive of patience, of allowing things to unfold at a pace that respects your emotional safety. You remain in control of your choices. You get to decide what you engage with and what you release. If you're feeling a sense of calm determination, like you know what you won't tolerate anymore, that's significant. That's not closing doors. That's choosing which ones you're willing to walk through. Type alignment if you feel this inner shift taking place. As this awareness settles in, you may notice that external validation matters less. You might feel more comfortable trusting your inner knowing, even when it leads you away from familiar patterns. That trust is earned, and it grows each time you honor yourself. This win, whatever form it takes, doesn't need to be loud to be meaningful. It might show up as emotional stability, as clarity after confusion, as the ability to walk away without bitterness, or to stay, but with open eyes and a steady heart. There's a sense here of emotional maturity, yours or someone else's catching up to the situation. And when that happens, conversations change, energy shifts. Things feel more honest, even if they're still unresolved. Take what resonates from this, leave what doesn't. You're not here to follow a script, you're here to understand your own experience more deeply. And you don't need certainty to move forward. You just need self-trust. As you carry this awareness with you, notice how your body responds. Notice where you feel lighter and where you still feel tension. Those sensations are information. They guide you toward what aligns and away from what doesn't. You're allowed to take your time. You're allowed to choose peace over potential. You're allowed to believe that clarity doesn't have to come with pain. And as this moment settles, there's a grounded calm available to you. Not because everything is solved, but because you're more present with yourself than you were before. That alone is powerful. Stay connected to that. Stay honest with yourself. And trust that whatever unfolds next can be met with the strength and awareness you already carry.